What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Bourbon of the Week. My name is Chris. I'm going to be your host for today, and this video is well overdue, right? This is the Old Forester 117 Series Extra Old. I got this sample a long time ago, but here in Pennsylvania, I've had a hard time finding Old Forester 1910, and this bottle, the 117 Series, is 1910 with 18 months extra age on there. So the 1910, I didn't know this originally, but the 1910 is actually a double barrel product. It tells you right here, in 1910, a fire on Whiskey Row led to Old Forester being rebarreled into heavily charred barrels. The double-barreled expression follows the same process the original old fine whiskey. So back in the day in 1910, there was a fire. They rebarreled some of the whiskey. They realized that's pretty good whiskey, and they put that out as 1910. That gives us the 117 Series Extra Old, which is 1910 with 18 more months in that secondary barrel. So let's pour this up, and then during our Bourbon Bomb of the Week, of course, we're going to compare it to the original stuff. I don't want to use too much of this because I want to save some for our Bourbon Bomb of the Week. Put this to the side for now. And everybody knows before we get started, time for the traditional sip. We're going to put this through the gauntlet. Price, taste, drinkability, as always. Cheers, y'all. All right. So here's the deal. Old Forester in their entire catalog is one of my favorite distilleries as far as like having a bunch of products that I really enjoy. Wild Turkey's obviously up there, but Old Forester is definitely in the conversation of top 3 to top 5. They have the 1910, which I love. They have the 1920, which I love. They have the 1897. They have a bunch of other products in the Whiskey Row series. Then they have the single barrels. We've had this conversation before. I think the 100 proofs are better than the cask strengths, although I'm sure it comes down to exactly which barrel you get. But I'm excited to try this one right here. I will tell you, we start with price, taste, drinkability, always with drinkability first at 93 proof. This isn't a sample container, and like I've said, I've had it for a little while now. Sips a little hot, and I don't think it's my favorite flavor profile. That being said, double oaking, double barreling isn't always my favorite. I feel like it gives us this extra oaky, spicy characteristic, which isn't for me. I know a lot of people do enjoy that. Let's just keep that in mind when doing this review. I will say the nose is something I don't normally nose things. The nose is phenomenal on this. Yeah, I mean, that nose is something that you can't miss. Dark brown sugar, some chocolatey notes, definitely some leathers, some tannins right off the nose, which is normally like, I don't normally nose things because I just don't normally pick up that much on the nose. I don't know if I don't have a good nose or a good palate when it comes to my nose. I don't really know how all of that works. The nose on this is phenomenal. For me, it doesn't translate to the taste, but let's start with drinkability. 93 proof. It is my first glass of whiskey for the night. I'm going to go one more sip. I mean, I don't think it's crazy. I don't think that it's like it drinks like 110 proof or anything like that, but I do think it drinks, I mean, quite literally a little bit over its proof. If I were to blind this, I'd probably say like 95, maybe even pushing 97 proof. So for a 93 to drink 95, 97, we give it a 7.0 if it drinks right at its proof. This is definitely going to be under a 7.0 for me. And again, I feel like the spiciness, the harshness that you get from that double barreling process, and then you're doing that for an extra 18 months, like you have to really love a double barrel bourbon to really enjoy this. I think that's the way that I feel about this because I don't love the characteristics going on in this, and it's all of those characteristics that I don't enjoy in a double barreling process. So maybe I wasn't the best person to try this one right here. Again, it's nothing crazy, but we do have to go like down into the 6s on this. I'm going to go like 6.54 when it comes to drinkability on this. It's not great, but at the end of the day, I think it's because of that double barreling process that's really bringing out that harshness for me. And of course, up next, that's going to bring us into taste on this. And let me just start off this by saying I don't enjoy this. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it for you and tell you that, oh, there's this, there's that. This isn't the type of flavor profile that I enjoy. I can appreciate what it's giving me for somebody that doesn't enjoy it. And this is where like people start to say like, oh, just tell me that it tastes like crap. I don't think that it tastes like crap. I don't think that it's a bad tasting whiskey. It's just not what I want to taste. It's the same reason that like you might like black olives. I like green olives. You might like something. I don't like tiramisu ice cream. There's a lot of people out there that like tiramisu ice cream. Some flavor profiles are just not built for certain people. This particular flavor profile is not built for me. And it's one of those things that over the years, I've started to enjoy some things in the whiskey world that I didn't originally enjoy. Sherry finish is one of them. Double barreling is definitely one of those. There's things that I started to enjoy, so I wanted to see where my palate kind of falls, especially on something like this. 18 extra months, and I don't know how long they originally double barrel this for, but 18 extra months for me, for my particular palate, is too much when it comes to the density and the richness that you're getting out of this for something in that flavor profile, that chocolatey, that leather, that tobacco, that dried raisin, everything like that going on in this glass. Dried raisin, I guess that's just a regular raisin. I will say there are aspects of this glass that I do enjoy. There is a very good sweetness on this that I didn't originally get, but it definitely opens up a little bit more into that sweetness than just the spiciness. There's spiciness on this though. There's black pepper, there's clove, and then again, it immediately transitions to me for that oaky, double oaking process, that chocolatey, that marshmallowy. It's not even like a toasty. It's more of a, it's that char, it's that barrel, it's that tobacco, that leather, those dark, dense, heavy notes. That is just not for me. And I know a lot of people out there do enjoy that, so I think that those people will enjoy this glass a lot more than I do. The thing is, I just don't. If I had to guess before going into our Bourbon Bomb of the Week, I'm going to like this glass a lot more. I originally didn't love the 1910, and then it started to come around to me. Again, as I started to open up more into this double oaking process, I feel like I like this bottle a lot more. This one I think is just taking it to the next level, and if you're willing to take that next step to that next level, you're going to like this glass a lot. Let's give it one more sip, then we'll give you a score when it comes to taste. Yeah, I mean, quite frankly, for me, it's not good. I've had a bunch of Old Forester expressions. They've been very generous to send these out to me. I've pretty much enjoyed everything that they've sent me so far. This one just isn't for me, and not everything is going to be for everybody. So just because I got this for free, I'm showing you guys, I don't give great reviews just because I got a free sample or because I know the media manager or anything like that. This right here is not for me. I'm going to go back down into the 5s for this personally. It's just too over oaked for me. I said the same thing about Russell's Reserve 13. I think I got batch 3. It just over oaked. I don't like it. It's too much. Let's go like 5.27 when it comes to taste on this. If you like this flavor profile, I hope nothing against you at all. I think this it is a lot of people are going to enjoy this flavor profile. I'm just not going to be one of them. What did I say? 5.23 is where we're going to put it when it comes to taste. And last but certainly not least, we're going to talk about price on this, and I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I don't love the drinkability. I don't love the taste, and this is a 375 milliliter bottle at $65, so we'll call that a $130 bottle of whiskey. Obviously, I'm not going to like it at that price just because I don't like the whiskey that's in it. That being said, I think that somebody who does enjoy this would pick this bottle up, and I love the 375 milliliter concept. I think it gets more whiskey into more people's hands, especially for these limited releases, and also drops that price point to make it a little bit more palatable, no pun intended. That being said, $130 for this particular release on my behalf for what I think about it isn't going to do it. So let's give it it's got to be low again. I'm going to go back into like 4s, maybe 5s on this. This isn't going to get a great score. I'm not going to lie to you. I got to go like 4.51 when it comes to price on this. Again, this just wasn't for me, which means I'm not going to like the price on it. That's just how it works. But as always, let's get into our Bourbon Bomb of the Week. We'll slide this over here. We'll slide this over here. This is going to be a fresh crack for us as well. Ouch. I was originally thinking about doing this blind, but I don't think I'm going to do that anymore. I think I already know that I don't enjoy this glass over here, so I think I'm going to enjoy this glass more, but let's find out how much more. I mean, it's a little bit darker, but for 18 months more, I was expecting it to be a lot darker. Let's start with this glass over here since I've already had some of this one, and I only have a little bit left. Cheers, y'all. I mean, it's worlds different. I honestly did not expect, I mean, I expected it to be different, but this is crazy different. I wouldn't even expect these to be in like the same wavelength. This one right here, again, I can't stress this enough. If you enjoy that dark chocolate, that dark intense tobacco, that double oak, something like extra aged, like 15, 16 years old, not saying that this compares to like a 16-year-old whiskey or anything like that, but that's like the notes that you're moving towards, right? That extra dark chocolate, that tobacco, that leather, that it dries out your mouth, the tannins, all of that. If that's what you enjoy, you're going to love this glass, I promise you. I don't enjoy that. This glass is giving me so much less of that and so much more sweetness, so much more brightness that it's kind of crazy. Again, I don't even, taste wise, they obviously taste very similar when it comes to like the base of the product. I can tell that this is this just with extra age on it, because they do taste similar, and that, I mean, obviously this is this with extra age on it, but as far as how much different and complexity as well, this one is definitely more complex than this one. This one's quieter, it's a little bit less going on in the glass. But this glass is just it's too far gone for me when it comes to the double oaking. I mean, even down to the nose on this. This one, I put it to my, when I picked this up, you immediately got the nose off this. It's definitely giving you a more concentrated flavor profile, just not the one that I like. I hate that though. I mean, it's crazy. This is also definitely spicier. This gives you more of that black pepper kick, more of that clove. This gives you a lot more sweetness on it. I get more of the vanillas. The caramel isn't like a burnt caramel. It's more of that traditional bourbon caramely flavor to it. It just seems like this one less complex, a little bit quieter, but more of the flavor profile that I'm looking for in a bourbon. While this one, I can't stress this enough, is a fantastic glass of whiskey if this is what you're looking for. This is a very short bourbon bomb of the week because I thought these were going to be a little bit closer. They're not. For me, it's the 1910 original. This one is just, again, I don't know how many times I have to say it, it's just overdone with the double oaking process, but a lot of people like that. So here's the deal, and I hate to do this, but this bottle came in at a 5.42. Not a great spot, I won't lie to you, but from the beginning, I didn't think that I was going to absolutely love this one, but I was curious kind of where my palate fell on a product like this, because obviously, after 5 or 6 years of drinking this whiskey stuff, my palate starts to change. I used to only love sweet whiskeys, then I started some ryes. I used to only love 90 proof, now I'm drinking 140. So we're at a point where we kind of got to test the palate to see where we're at. We're not quite there on something like this, but I want to know in the comment section below, have you tried this particular release, and do you like that extra age? Do you like that 18 months, 24 months in a secondary barrel? Do you like those 15, 16, 17-year-old bottles? For me, I'm still in that 12 to 13 year range, and this tastes like it would be something more in that 15 to 16 year range. So let me know in the comment section below. But let me just say thank you, Old Forester, for sending out the sample. I know this one wasn't my favorite, but basically everything else in your catalog so far, I have really enjoyed. Make sure you check me out on Instagram at Bourbon of the Week. Go click that follow button over there. Click that like and subscribe button here on YouTube. I would greatly appreciate that. Please don't drink and drive. Always drink responsibly. Check out our Patreon page and our Discord. Both those links in the description below. As always, stay healthy, stay happy, and stay trying stuff that you maybe don't think you're going to like, because one day you will. I promise. Cheers, y'all. Not for me.